So join me, if you will, in acknowledging this one power. We recognize there is but one power in the universe. It is the power within each of us. It is the power that creates all that exists. Everything is formed and created out of this one universal field of energy and intelligence. Therefore, there is only one, and that one is enough. So we come together right now celebrating that oneness, that truth, and that goodness, opening to its presence in our lives, its presence as our lives. And we do this with joy, we do this with ease, we do this listening within our own minds for the best idea for us today. We do this with grace and ease. We let it be so, because this is the truth. And so it is. Thank you. So, today I welcome you all. I see we have some new folks here, and we have some old folks. Well, no old folks. Some folks who've been here before, and I'm grateful for that. So if you are here for the first time, we welcome you. And we will happily be around afterwards to answer any questions or to let you know. We are not going to kill the chicken today. We do that another week. So, you're good. We won't scare you, hopefully, too much with a very difference. When I first showed up in this teaching, I had come from a traditional background, and it was quite a shock to me that how things were done differently. And then I began to get used to that idea of different and discovered it to be exactly what I was looking for. We are a community of love. We are a community that supports each other. We are a community that is dedicated and committed to the highest ideals of spiritual truth, universal ideas and ideals that go beyond any one religion, but yet seem to be at the core and heart of all religions and all practices and spiritual practices. We are not a religion, by the way. We are a spiritual practice, a spiritual teaching. And so we invite you to consider opening up your mind, your heart to that. We are a place that welcomes you whoever you are. Since there's one power and it's expressing as each of us, we celebrate that fact by celebrating each of you. Your uniqueness, your place in the world, whatever place that is, whatever ethnicity, personal choice you've made about who you are and what you are, is not something we tolerate, it's something we celebrate. Oneness does not mean sameness. Oneness means celebrating the goodness and greatness that you are. So we are here to do that, to celebrate each other, and to celebrate this one power that is within us that expresses as us in truth and in power and in goodness. Knowing that to be so, I invite you then to join me as we speak our core principles that we operate from, to not so much as a declaration of what you have to believe to be part of this community, but these are our core ideas that allow us, against which we look at our beliefs and our thoughts and see how it fits or doesn't fit. So I invite you to join me if you'd like to stand and read this together. I believe in one God, one absolute power and first cause to all things. I believe that this power is perfect love and creates out of a desire to express love. I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience. I believe in the unity of all life, the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all. And so it is. Thank you. Be seated. For those who are new with us, we use "and so it is" around here a lot. It's the English translation of amen, which simply means I am in my whole being is in agreement with what I've just read, experienced, or said. So whether you say it amen or amen or "and so it is," it all means the same thing. It's all the same idea. So at this point in our celebration, we invite one of our practitioners. A practitioner is someone who has studied this teaching, who is really able to use the power of their own minds and the power of spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer to change their lives and to change your life if you so choose to participate in that and work with them. They're well trained. They've spent years in training. They're licensed by our national organization, international organization, and recognized as people who have been very successful in creating these kinds of changes in life. Today, our reading and our spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, is brought to us by I almost called you Reverend. The Reverend Judy Haley. There we go. Thank you, Judy.
This is on. Okay, cool. Good morning. Glad to be here. So each year, International Day of Peace is observed around the world on September the 21st, and that was yesterday. The UN General Assembly has declared this as a day devoted to strengthening the ideals of peace both within and among all nations and peoples. And this year's focus was climate action for peace. So you may have seen some stuff that was going on around the world. Well, in my neighborhood, with what they decided to do to celebrate this International Day of Peace was a group of people got together to build a peace pyramid out of golf balls. And I live across the street from the Candler Park Golf Course, and there's a lot of golf balls that show up in our yards. There's a lot of golfers that can't keep their balls on the golf course. Anyway, for whatever reason, and there's this one guy in our neighborhood that's been collecting golf balls for like 20 years, and he had 20,000 plus golf balls that they were going to use to build this pyramid. So I thought, well, this is interesting. I think I'm going to go check this out. So we were there building this pyramid for peace out of all these golf balls. And it was so interesting to watch because as we were working together on this task, feathers got ruffled. Different people were jockeying for power. It almost became like this analogy for how people interact with each other in the world. So it reminded me that, in every situation that we're in, that there are peacemakers and that there's peace to be made. And it reminded me also of Bob's talk a couple of weeks ago where he said, stand for something, but be against nothing. Well, I'm here to say that today I stand for world peace. And in fact, I really believe it's possible to have a totally peaceful world, and that if more of us believe that and become the peacemakers and bring peace into our own small worlds where we live, that this can become a reality sooner than later. So that's where I am. I'm standing for peace. I hope you are too. Well, in Ernest Holmes, it's interesting too, there was a meditation in one of the readings for this week that is it's not really about peace, but it's about the influence that we all have in the world. How many times have you said, well, I'm going to send you healing thoughts, or I'm going to send peace to this situation? Well, he talks about that in this meditation. I think we don't give ourselves credit for the power that we have. So this is from a meditation called The Power Within Blesses All. So I'm going to read this, and then from that we're going to go into our spiritual mind treatment. Here it is. The power within me is blessing all people and is forever healing all with whom I come in contact. So just our presence. The power within me is God, and it must bless and help and heal all who come near it. Silently, the work goes on, and silently, all are being helped by this inner power which is operating through me and through each one of us. I will give thanks that my power within is silently blessing and helping everyone to whom my thought reaches. The life within me blesses all people. So let us know this together. And I'm going to do this prayer, this affirmative prayer, in the first person. And if you would accept this for yourself. So here we go. Let us just relax and know that there is one power, one presence, one ultimate reality of good, that this power is peace, this power is goodness of every kind. It's love, it's vibrant health, it's infinite prosperity, opulent prosperity, endless creative ideas. It is an expansion of good that is ever happening in the world, and it is happening through me. This presence and this power. I make a difference in the world. My presence in my relationships, with my neighbors, with my family, at my work, wherever I am, my presence makes a difference. I bring peace. I bring love. I bring goodness. I bring vibrant new ideas and aliveness wherever I am. As I send my thoughts of peace to all of the world, every corner of it, I recognize and know that there is a divine spark in every person, in every situation, in every world leader. And I know that peace is possible, that there is a divine spark in all of humanity that can know this and can express this in the world. I know for myself that my life is ever expanding in goodness and in love. I know that CSL Midtown is a place that this power and this presence expresses as the transformational power for people's lives. That I come here, that we each come here to know the truth of who we are and to expand and to express and to just rest in the knowledge that all is well. We turn away from any idea of frustration, of doubt, of worry, of fear, of negativity, of lack, limitation, hatred. We just turn away from all of that and know that that's simply not the truth. The truth is the one unity of goodness, of love, of all life everywhere, in all people, including me and including all of you. So it is with great thanksgiving that I release this prayer, these words, knowing that they are powerful, knowing that all is well and all is expanding in greater and greater good always, no matter what the appearance may be. I just rest in the knowledge that goodness is the truth of life. So I release this now, knowing that it is so, and so it is.
What is the question? That's the question. All right. Wow. Anybody had any questions this week? Been bugging you all week long? You don't have to raise your hands unless you just want to. I see one standing up in the back, waving at me, so that's good. Anybody had a challenge this week? It was like, I need some better answers to what's going on in me. I see at least a few hands on that one. Anybody just really kind of feeling icky and down and sad and wanting a better idea or a better feeling or whatever? I see some of those hands. Okay. Thank you. I always wonder what gets us here on Sunday. You know, it's beautiful outside, and here we are in this beautiful building, but we're still inside, and you're coming to listen to this guy talk about whatever he's talking about. And I think what brought me into this room the first time, way back many years ago, was a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, a lot of confusion, and a threat from my sponsor in a 12-step program who said, you got to go find a church. And this was the least like a church that I could find, which for me at that time was important. So I showed up and I heard a talk and I felt better afterwards, and I thought, well, so maybe, I don't know what he talked about that day, I don't remember, but it was a long time ago. But I know it made a difference, because if nothing else, I heard someone tell the truth as they understood it. And I had been sitting in rooms where truth was really important and mattered to me. So we come together today with lots of questions in our minds. You have your own versions of that. So I invite you, as we walk through today's talk, that you let that be in the front of your mind as what you're looking for answers around, or ideas about, or a way to do better or be better in whatever that area is. Now, if your life is absolutely the way you want it, and you're absolutely full of joy, and this is the best moment of your life ever, then you can take a nap. You don't need this. Except to maintain that, perhaps. Then you might, you know. One of the things in this teaching is that we know that the answers to all of the questions lie within us, and the solutions to all of the problems lie within us. The much-quoted Kennedy Schultz used to say, you stand in front of the mirror in the morning and say, you are my worst problem, and you are my only solution. You are my only solution, because the solutions to whatever seems to be the issue for us lie within us. And they are already there, and they are fully formed, and our job is just to recognize it, to wake up to what that is. Now, that takes a lot of work sometimes, because sometimes it's layered over with so much other stuff. We have to give up some things. We have to give up that it's their fault. I hate that part. I'd much rather, that instead of the three fingers pointing back at me. I'd much rather be somebody else's fault, whatever's going on in my life that I don't like. I'd much rather give it up somewhere else. But I got to give that up. I got to turn away from that, because if I am the only solution, then they don't have any power to undo my solution or to impact my solution. Whether they're present in my life right now, or whether they were present in my life 20 years ago or 30 years ago or last night or yesterday or driving over here. They don't have that power unless I give it to them. Karen Carnes, Reverend Dr. Karen Carnes at SOAR, which was our gathering at Asilomar a few weeks ago, SOAR, not SORE. Got to be clear about that. We all go to SOAR every other year, and it's like, come on. Anyway, it's a happy soar. We were soaring high. She said, everything in your life that you don't like is going wrong. You either created it, you promoted it, you allowed it. That one's big for me. I allow a lot of stuff, have allowed a lot of stuff. Or you stepped in it. So some of it you may feel like you stepped in it, and that's okay too. Because ultimately, whatever it is that's going on for you, there is a solution, and there is an answer, and a way to move through it into a better place. We're not only in the business here of fixing our lives and of fixing things that went on before, because in truth, nothing is broken and needs fixing. What is happening is there's something more to be realized, something more to be brought forward, some better idea of ourselves. We're really in the business of transforming human consciousness, one person at a time. Your consciousness, transforming out of a place of victim, a place of hurt, a place of pain, a place of separation from good, separation from power, into a place and an awareness, a consciousness of oneness, a consciousness of unity with all life, of unity with this thing called God, if you will. Unity with the ability and the power and the solutions that are already alive and well within you. The biggest tool that we have for that and that we teach for that is spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. And it's such a great tool for this because it has 7 steps. I teach 7 steps. Not everybody does. Some people teach 5. It doesn't matter how many steps. It matters that we have a way to do this. And we start with the idea that there's only one power, and it is all good, and it is for us. For us. I didn't know God was for me. I thought God was testing me all the time when I got into this. But no, this energy is for us. This power is for us. And it's all the power there is. It's the only thing. And you say, well, what about all those things that seem to be against me? Need a better understanding. Because if there's only one power and it is for me and it is a power of love and light and success, then I must be part of it. I can't be separate from it. Because if I'm separate from it, then it's not one power. There's something else. There's God plus, or there's infinite plus. But in this case, there's only the one. One energy, one power. Therefore, I'm it. I'm in it. There's no separation. There's no way I can be separated. I may feel separated. I may think I'm separated. My life may show that I'm separate from my good and good possibility. But the truth is I can't be. And if I'm going to start with that, I go, wow. Then that means, and you fill in the blank. That means I am love. I am fully supported in my relationships. I am surrounded by prosperity of opulence and abundance. I have work that is creative and wonderful and exciting to do. And I have health. Natural health coursing through every part of my body, no matter how it feels at any given moment. Now, if all of that sounds like, and then this last part of this thing is, and anything that's not like that, I give no power to. What I give power to is this truth, that I am one with the life that was and good that is within me. And I'm grateful for that, because how else could you be? And so it is. Amen. Right? Now, I recognize that when I name some of those things in the 4 areas of life that we address around here, which is health, wealth, love, and creative expression, you might have felt a little twinge in there somewhere like, that don't quite fit for me. I'm getting there. But what I'm saying to us is, me too, is that the possibility of living in that fullness is always present, and it's present inside of us. And it's tapping into that power that counts. Now, there's one more step in spiritual mind treatment, and this is kind of our focus today, and that is treat, move your feet. That is taking that next step of action based on love. In other words, we don't just have these great ideas that move us through, and then we sit there and go, and that's the end of it. There is something within us that calls us to take action toward the full realization of life for us. I have a tendency sometimes to be depressed and to kind of wake up in the morning and I'm feeling umpy grumpy and I don't want to talk to anybody or see anybody or do anything, and so I just want to sit in my stuff, drink my coffee and be left alone. And usually there's some kind of old tape going in my head about what's wrong with me. Well, the best remedy for that is the action. Once I go through these 7 steps, the action of getting up off my behind and taking a walk, getting my body moving, taking some action. I am at least alive and well enough to take a walk. May not feel like doing anything else, but I feel like that. And usually by the time the walk's over, I'm pretty revved up and ready to go. We have to find those actions, and those actions come out of a place within us of love. They're an action of mind first. Spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer is an action step. It's an action of mind. It's choosing how we're going to think, and think differently perhaps than the way it has been presented to us, or you have had it presented so far. So once you take that action, then there is revealed within you and to you an action that requires you to do something, or that invites you to do something. It doesn't require you. You have choice, always. But it invites you to do something. And we almost always know what that is, don't we? Maybe turn off the TV, or I took YouTube off of my phone this week. I'm letting go of that addiction. Because I can use that to avoid everything if I want to. Maybe I'm the only one, but I can. And what it does for me then is prevents me from taking the time to know the truth and connecting with the oneness. Because I choose that instead. But you can choose otherwise. You can choose to go deeper into the love that God is as you instead. The definition of love in our movement, and as defined by Ernest Holmes, the founder of this wonderful movement, is it is the givingness of God to all. It is the givingness of life to all. It is that sense that there is always a giving that's a positive goodness in our lives. I mean, if you think about the people you love and the things you love, if you really love them, you want to give to them. You're giving your positive regard. You're giving your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. We celebrated my birthday last night with my family, my daughter and son-in-law and 2 grandkids, and my 8-year-old Sophie that you see running around here a bit. We went to a wonderful Lebanese restaurant that had belly dancing. And the lead belly dancer is a 72-year-old guy just like me. And he was a hoot. But my granddaughter just got so into that belly dancing. We could not keep her in her seat. We didn't try, actually. And the belly dancer didn't mind and led her up on the stage, and they belly danced, and she went on, and she went the whole time that they had anything, and so did all the other kids eventually, and the other people, and just such love in that room for movement and life, and seeing it celebrated and what everyone was doing. It was really, really rich and wonderful and fabulous, and I got to just sit there and enjoy it. I got to love it. And I just had to take the action of choosing where we're going. You know? We just make a choice based on that little idea inside of us that says, you know what I really want to do is go somewhere where everybody in the group can have fun. And we did. We had a marvelous time. I had fun watching them. You know, Nicola brings over your birthday drink and your birthday cake on top of his head as he dances, and then he brings it and he kneels down and you blow out the candles, and then he puts the glass on top of his head so you pour your drink and the whole bit. And so far nobody got doused or wet. One of the women who was having a birthday was had Sprite, and so we were waiting for that to fizz all over him, but it didn't. I think he let it breathe before he brought it in. But, you know, just the joyous, fun kinds of things to do out of the recognition of how good life could be. We could have made it complicated. We could look for something else, but we didn't. So what I'm saying is there's always something within you that knows the next right action for you to take. And sometimes it's as simple as asking yourself, because I know the wisdom of the infinite is within me, what am I directed to do right now? What is mine to do? And what would I love to be involved in more than anything else? You mentioned the piece. I just love that image of the golf balls and the piece, whatever. I mean, I'm still. And the fact that as people are doing that, we get to reenact peace. You know, we used to, in subsitters around the country, we'd sing, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin to be. Begin with me," at the end of every celebration. Some places wouldn't do that because we don't want to have to create opportunities to create peace. We'd rather just stay in peace instead of being in conflict, so you have to create peace. But either way, you find the action that brings peace. If you are committed to peace, then get involved in that movement if it's what you love. If you're committed to the idea, if you love the idea, I'm going to talk about this next week, but my place of renewal is the woods. And it doesn't matter really whether it's the deep woods down here in Georgia or up on a mountain in Montana or wherever it is. All I have to do is walk in the woods, and I feel a sense of renewal, a sense of connection, a sense of life and energy. Well, I love that. And I'm committed to keeping as much woods around us as possible. Now, am I saying we as an organization should get behind that movement? No. I'm not against anybody. I come from a family of woodcutters. I come from a family who brought the first electricity for the first sawmills into Florida, and then ended up cutting all the wood that they could to make a living. Interesting. And yet they were conservationists of the forest. Crazy conflicts. I could pick one side or another, but there is no side. There's only that part of me that loves the forest and will do what I can in my life to maintain and support and protect it. And what I'm suggesting is that the action that you find yourself drawn to, you know, we have folks in this teaching who are advocates for children who are harmed, who are advocates for ethnic groups that are not getting their equal share, who are all about justice, who are all about creating equality in the world. And if that's what you love, do it. Because there's nothing that says you can't, so long as, we said 2 weeks ago, we are for something and against nothing. I am for forestry. I'm not against people who cut down trees. I am for forestry, but I am not against anyone else. I am for protecting the children. But I'm also for protecting the grown children who abuse children, because they need help too. And I used to run a practice working with those folks, perpetrators. Because you got to do both. Because see, what this teaching does is it lifts us out of that duality of us and them, right and wrong, and moves into a greater idea of possibility for all, and recognition that even in the most painful and difficult and ugly looking situation that a human being might be in or might be expressing, God is still present in that person. Power and goodness is still present in that person. And you've got to look at it. You've got to find it. You've got to recognize it, whether you agree with them or whether you participate with them or not. And this action will bubble up from inside of you, and you'll know what it is if you listen for it and if you wait for it. So if your challenge right now is about prosperity, we're going to be doing a lot of looking at prosperity next month. We're going to look at abundance. I'm going to do the abundance for you. So look forward to that. Not quite as good as Nicola, but we'll see what happens. The abundance that is available to you and for you all the time. Not so much as the fact that the idea that we don't have it and we have to go get it, but that we already have it, we need to recognize it so we can experience more of it. See, and the action that may bubble up inside of you could be that there's one or two things you can do to move into the flow of that abundance. You could choose to give more and hoard less. Or if you feel like you don't have anything to give, find something, if it's just love and appreciation, to give. Some kind of action that will take place to move you out of this space of, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my bills? One of our wonderful teachers, Helen Street, used to say, when she gets a surprise bill or the bill comes at the end of the meal and you look at it and you go, oh my God, we ate that much? Instead of, oh my God, it's like, thank God I'm rich. Whether you think it or not, whether you can prove it or not on your checkbook, the truth is you are. Everybody in this country is rich. I mean, if you look at what's happening in the rest of the world and we compare our availability and prosperity and freedoms to the rest of what's out there, we're rich by any definition. But even without that, you're rich because of who that parent, that living power within you is. That's where your wealth and riches comes from. If your thing is about health, maybe there's a different way you need to treat this amazing thing, this vehicle that's carrying you through life. Quit feeding it what you think it wants or it says it wants, and start feeding it what it needs. I'm talking to myself now. Less chocolate and more asparagus or something, But figuring out what that is, listening within, doing the treatment, what would help my body be strong and healthy and continue to operate perfectly? Because this is the one that takes you through time and space. Once this is gone, then you're just kind of floating out there to finding out whatever's next. And there's probably still time and space, but we don't know because nobody's really come back to tell us for sure. But what is true that in the meantime, taking care of this vehicle is really important. Change the oil once in a while. Be sure you get the tires rotated, all of that kind of stuff. Make sure. When you were looking at relationships, love is for giving. It's for giving to any situation. The love that we're talking about is to give to whatever that situation is. Love is for honoring. Love is for respecting and recognizing the good in the other person or persons around you. And sometimes in order for that love to stay strong and alive, the relationship has to change or end. That may seem counterintuitive, but it's true. To keep the love alive is the most important thing. To be able to continue in love in a relationship with someone, sometimes you have to go separate ways and love each other from a distance. I love my family of origin. They are sweet, wonderful, crazy, out of control. God bless them. I love them. But I love them better from here. And they're down in Florida. And I don't see them too often. And that's good. It's good for them because they don't get to hear my judgment or hear or experience my lack of love toward them whenever I've been buried up to here in their stuff. You know? Now, some people can live in the midst of that and still maintain the love. Good for you if you're that person. I can't. Couldn't do it. Tried. Maybe in my next life. Maybe if I live long enough. But not for now. Keep the love alive. Whatever you have to do. And however you have to be. With our work, we talk about, we treat and treat for this creative expression that will be an opportunity for me to spend most of my awake time in the day doing what I love and bringing great good to the world. I look forward to getting up in the morning and heading off to work. Anybody else? I get up in the morning, I do my work right where I live. That's great. I also like to head off to work because I like being around other people. So it's a mix. And if it's less than that, then we need to start looking at our work in a different way. What is the action I need to take? Maybe I need to take the risk of working at what I really love instead of what I think I have to do to make a living. Now you're meddling in my life. Stop, Bob. Okay. You know what I'm saying. Those answers for whatever action you're needing to take and wanting to take are already in you, and you probably already know what they are. But if you don't, this will spurt by hearing it from me, I think. Because we make our decisions at this point out of that attitude of love, not fear. We're always at that choice. Love or fear? Love or fear? Am I choosing to do this because I love it? Or am I choosing to do it because I'm afraid of what will happen if I don't? Am I choosing my personal or political or any other social choices because it's what I love, or because I'm terrified of what will happen if I don't? Because believe me, if it's coming out of fear, you're just wasting your time and energy. You'd do better to sit quietly and wait until you see and know what you love and take action in that direction. When we love, and when we express our behavior as well as our mental and physical behavior from love, we are participating in the great action of the infinite. The best word for God in every language, in every religion, and every spirituality is love. We say it again and again and again. When you are loving, you are being Spirit individualized, God individualized in you, as you, through you. And when you've got that kind of power behind you, there's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing to stand against you. And there's nothing that wants to stand against you. Think about that. Ernest Holmes said this: "Find me someone who is given all that he has in love, without morbidity, and I will have found you the love of my soul." Without morbidity, what in the world? Without fear, without feeling like I'm giving this and it's depleting me. No, if your loving is depleting you, it ain't loving. It's something else. Because love doesn't deplete. It's a whole thing. And when you're giving love to something else or someone else, you are energized by the love that's within you. And it's bubbling up by what you're giving. You're receiving at the same time. So if your love is... There was a book out a while back about women who love too much of the men who love them, or something like that. I don't know why it was about women, but it was, because men do the same thing. But the idea, and the more they talked about that book, is like, that's not possible to love too much. It's possible to behave too much and to take care of too much and to give away ourselves too much, to the point that we feel depleted. That's not love. That's something else. That's trading off. That's bargaining. That's giving energy away. That's making someone else more important than yourself. Because see, love balances me and them, us and them. It's a perfect balance between what's inside and outside. So without morbidity, and he goes on to say, and because that person will have revealed to me the very nature of God, and prove to me the possibility of all human souls. We all have the possibility to love unconditionally, and to love freely. You can do it because you're wonderful, and so can I. So it is. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's take a few moments and soak that in. Invite you to join me, if you will, in a moment of meditation and spiritual mind treatment. I take a moment and recognize that I am unified with this one power. There's only one. This power is the same power that creates universes, throws stars into space, and makes bugs. It is the same power that created me and creates everything that is. And because that power is within me and available to me for use, I choose now to focus my love and the love that that power provides through me on one thing. I can do it on other things later, but right now on one thing. And I choose that to be, you fill in the blank. And I now open my heart and my mind and my thoughts and my feelings to reveal to me that love brought into full manifestation and expression. Seeing and knowing what it looks like and feels like and tastes like and smells like and how it could show up in my life. And I let go. I let go of any nonsense about it, that I don't deserve it, that it's too much, that it's too little. And instead I return to the clarity that love is love is love. And I find myself loving it. I love my physical expression. I love my prosperity, abundance all around me. I love my relationships, the people in my life, the people that show up to show me who I am and for me to have the opportunity to care about and to love. And I love my work, my opportunity to create something new that has never been done before in a whole new way, in the world, as the world, right now. And as I recognize all of this, I open my mind to hear, to feel, to get the idea of what is the action to be taken. What is mine to do around the one thing I have chosen to love today. And if that idea has popped into my mind, I know it is an idea from the infinite wisdom of the universe, and I have therefore the courage to act on it. And the opportunity will present itself quickly, easily, and freely. This is the truth. I know it to be. I let it be so, and so it is. Circulation, circulation, circulation. Whether it's love, whether it's prosperity, whether it's health, it's all about circulation. Some of us know that better than others about our health. Circulation, you got to keep it going. So, our prosperity is about circulation. As we give, we receive. As we receive, we give. If you are moved by or find value in what this place is about and what we are and why you're here, then please contribute accordingly and contribute from your heart. If you will join me in reading our affirmation of prosperity, I invite you to do so. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. And thank you all for being here and for your participation this morning. A couple of really quick announcements. I want to let you know that our class is starting, and it's been started for 2 weeks now. This is the last week to join it and still get credit. So this Thursday night, if you're free and available and you want to prop your feet up in your house and join us online, It is absolutely there. Send me an email. My email is out there, and it's on the website and everywhere else that you want to join. The information about the class is also out front, and we will invite you in. If I don't hear from you, I won't know, and I can't send you the link. So if you just decide you want to do it, please don't just decide and wait for the universe to drop the link on you, because I won't know. So let me know. Also, on Wednesdays at noon, we have a meditation that happens every week, and I do that as well online. So from the comfort of your office or your home or wherever, you can take a few minutes of quiet. You can get loose from your everyday stuff, and we do a guided meditation around opening the heart, finding peace, and living from that deeper place, that broader place of knowing who we are and what life's about. So I invite you to join us for that. The Monday nights, we have Prayer Works. That particular event will be changing after this month. Reverend Angela has decided to perhaps move it to the daytime or to another time. She'll let us know what, where, and when, but just know that the last Monday night event will happen at the end of September. And then we'll let you know what else is going to be happening there. Next, every week at 10 o'clock, we have this wonderful discussion group based on the Science of Mind textbook. We read parts of it all week, and then they come together and talk about it. And it's a rich and wonderful conversation. It's a chance to really take some of these ideas to heart and look at how they affect you or don't affect you or what you believe. The other aspect of our program here that is really important is our care ministry. And our care ministry is an opportunity for you to reach out to us and say, I need some help. I need some care. And I'm not going to talk any more about that because the leader of our care ministry is right down front, and Aloma is going to share with us. Aloma is one of our wonderful practitioners. Come on, I would say come on up, but instead come on down. How about that? Good, thank you.
Hello there. I have been looking forward to today and being able to talk with you about our care ministry briefly. We've had flyers out front, and perhaps some of you have heard of it, or perhaps some of you have received the services we offer. Basically, congregants let us know if they have an illness, pending surgery, perhaps sometimes a financial issue, sometimes a relationship issue. And when I get that information, I verify with the individual whether it's to go to all of the participants or if they just want a couple of us to offer treatment work on their behalf and keep the distribution of information a little more limited. Our members have been the ministers and practitioners, plus Sylvia Roden, who usually is in the back there. I'm sure most of you know her. Anyway, we want to invite you to join us in offering that service to our congregants. I have on the table on the right at the back a legal pad for you to sign your name, email, and phone number, if you will, and flyers that have been out there. They also have been advertised in our bi-monthly newsletter that we get, so I'm sure you've probably seen it somewhere. Also, my card, if you need to just grab one and go and contact me later. I'll get back with you within a few days, and we can talk further about your participation, but we want you to be a part, and I hope a number of you will step forward and join us. So thank you. Thank you, Reverend Bob.
And yes, it's a wonderful service that we provide. For our new folks, we have a visitor packet, a welcome packet that looks like this. Be sure you pick one up on your way out, and we'll make sure that if you have any questions or phone numbers, there's all kinds of ways to contact us. We will not bother you if you give us your information on the sign up here. There's the place to sign up for our newsletter, etc. I would never sign up for anything my first time in an organization. When I first showed up here, I was here about 6 months before I let them know who I was, because I had this crazy idea that they were going to bug me for money. We aren't going to do that. It's just so if you would like to get more information about who we are, that will be there, and there's an opportunity to do that. And if you choose not to, that's perfectly fine too. We're glad you're here no matter what. So good to have you with us. I think that's it. Let's join together as we read our closing statement, our affirmation of life. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world, heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me, and so it is.